On the meeting with the President von der Leyen, President Kostas, and President Vučić, I would obviously recall the social media post that was published by the President after the meeting, when she said it was an important meeting with President Vučić, and that Serbia needs to deliver on EU reforms, in particular to take decisive steps towards media freedom, the fight against corruption, and electoral reforms, and Serbia's future lies in the EU. If you want to have more information, as you requested, on the meeting per se, what I can add is indeed President von der Leyen, President Costa, and President Vučić discussed the current situation in Serbia. As you know, like I have expressed a couple of times here on stage, we've been following closely the situation in Serbia and the unprecedented number of Serbian citizens peacefully demonstrating. And we need all stakeholders to find a peaceful and political solution to the current crisis. So specifically to this question on the mining project, so Serbia and the EU signed in July 2024 an MOU on a strategic partnership on sustainable raw materials, battery value chains, and electric vehicles. This partnership is expected to boost economic development, green digital transition, and create new job opportunities. It will also deepen Serbia's integration with the EU ahead of the accession, and it will also provide a stronger integration into the single market in line with the ambitions of the growth plan for the Western Balkans. On your questions regarding the announcement, I mean, the comments that were made after the meeting with the President, what I can say is indeed earlier this week, the Commission adopted for the first time a list of 48 strategic projects. My colleague Leah will give you more information on this, but this relates for projects within the EU. When it comes to the projects outside of the EU, a decision will be taken in the coming weeks. So at this stage, there's no decision. I cannot confirm whether this specific project will be part of this list or not. When it comes to sorry, then I don't remember your other questions if you had any. Yeah. On the meeting, I'm afraid I cannot go beyond what I've just explained and the information I just provided. And on how the projects are selected, perhaps Leah wants to complement. Yeah, she wants to. We have been following the situation really closely. We've been in contact with our counterparts in Serbia, and we really do believe that it's a priority for us to support Serbia on its EU path and to advance on its path. We have consistently underlined that we need to see credible and tangible progress on key reforms to unlock the new stages of the accession process. As I said, in different levels of engagement with authorities. The EU accession process really requires an intensive effort by entire society. We believe that it's a national project that needs to be owned by everyone, the citizens, the authorities, civil society, everyone. The reforms needed on Serbia's EU path. We will reinforce the fight against corruption, will ensure the independence of the judiciary, accountability of institutions, transparent public procurement. It will help to promote media freedom and pluralism, and also it would improve the electoral conditions. So all of this together will improve. So the EU path, and if the reforms are made, then we are working to make sure that this can happen. And we do believe that this represents really this path will represent a European way for Serbia really to advance. This is something we have underlined and recalled many times in our enlargement reports as well. And we will continue to work with Serbia at the technical level, but also the political level. I would not really speculate on whether this has impacted or not our engagement. We have been engaged with the Serbian authorities for a very long time, and we continue to do so through the accession path, through obviously at also the highest level, like we had this week with the President. We also have engagement more at the technical level when we want to work on the growth facility, the growth plan for the Western Balkans. So obviously we're talking about here the EU accession path, but there's also in parallel different track to make sure that the Western Balkans can gradually integrate the EU single market. So it's another way also for us to have progress on this front. There are different reforms, as you know. I mean, there's a whole reform agenda with different reforms that needs to be implemented. So there are different tracks of work and discussions at different level. But I would not speculate further on whether the current political situation has changed. We have already a very structured channel of discussions. Commissioner Kos meets with everyone. She has met also with civil society organization a few weeks ago. There are also discussions at the political level. As I said, we engage at all different levels. But when it comes to the demonstrations, we do believe that it is for the authorities to have an inclusive dialogue with the protesters and the students, and we're not involved in this. This is a matter for us to have the discussion at the level. I'm not saying there was a meeting with the students. Perhaps I did not explain myself very well. There was a meeting with Commissioner Kos a few weeks ago with civil society organizations. I can look back for the names. I don't recall them. Also, back then she tweeted about this meeting, so there's nothing secret here. It was public, and there are no plans here to engage precisely with students. We've made our position very clear from the past. What I can ask is that obviously we have seen the tensions, and we call on all the stakeholders to refrain from escalating further any tensions between the different members of society. There's nothing else I can add at this stage. It is for a dialogue to take place at national level. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't have the details of your questions. There's nothing I can add at this stage. I explained all the topics that were addressed during this meeting. On your specific questions, I don't have information to share. I'm sorry. Indeed, in the procedure for the growth plan, there's a precondition when it comes to Serbia and Kosovo that we explained to engage in the constructive dialogue in the context of the relations. At this stage, I cannot tell you whether the condition has been fulfilled or not. This will be explained once a decision has been taken precisely on the pre-financing. We need to assess different conditions, and it's one of them. So we will communicate on the fulfillment of these preconditions when the assessment is made and when we have a decision on the pre-financing. So there's nothing I can say at this stage. So indeed, I can confirm that at this stage, there's no pre-financing for Serbia and Kosovo. There was pre-financing earlier this week and last week for North Macedonia and Albania. But the process is still ongoing for the two countries, for Kosovo and Serbia, as you said. Yeah, there's nothing I can add